Hello guys, your friend 2Play is here again, and I wanted to give you a little heads up on the PlayBox version 2. I've been working for the past few months. The last 2 months it was totally dead because I was very busy with real life and work. So I just want to give you just first looks, first impression about what you should expect, all the new things and goodies that I have on PlayBox version 2, and why it's really worth your waiting. So I still have the two main themes, which is the 2Play systems and 2Play walls. And now this is some of the systems are the same in both of the themes. So let's go and take a look. PlayBox is the custom version of Kodi that I have, and you can select the region script if you want Kodi, if you want PlayBox, whatever you want. If you're in US, Japan, Europe, so you can select the systems based on that region. So we have old stuff and new stuff, so let's go ahead. Now Jukebox has been updated. Now we have the Raspberry Full Desktop. As before, we have the RetroPie. The menu has been changed slightly. I did some updates. Now in emulation we have some removals and some main ones. Now we go to network tools, which is just the basic Bluetooth, what is my IP and Wi-Fi. System tools, I have only the USB modes as extra folder. And we have the USB boot mode for people that want to activate it, but if you use PlayBox base and any of your USB 3, it will automatically activate it. Then we have the USB ROMs. So this is the external USB script by EasyHacks, and this is combined, the insert and removal, 2-in-1. Now we have the visual and theme tools that have the bezel custom set from David Marty. We have the bezel project script update, so this way you can update your bezel project without you entering the RetroPie setup. The bezel project itself, ES themes, Hersty themes for those that they want it. You can update it within. Now we have the media removal, we have the rest of what we had before. The skyscraper as before, it's updated to the latest version. And then I just want to show you something new. This is the screen ratio script. This is a new script that you can change for the full system ratio and resolutions. It's way more advanced than the one that multi-script that where Dirty Gaming created with level 1. Has nothing to do with their script. The idea is both the same. I got this request from Ransom back in about 6 months ago or more, and I decided to make it. As I said, this has nothing to do with Where Dirty Gaming. It's a brand new single script, not multi-scripts called by one script, whatever. It's just one main script based on the same code I use for my optimized overclock script, which is one single script again. And the plan is that I'm going to have for the Raspberry Pi 4 overclocking options. So now we go back and we have the usual power off, system shutdown and system restart. We have the ports. And now you're going to see that the Zelda Solaris games have been removed. The reason is that the new Raspberry RetroPie has Solaris as a system, and this is what PlayBox version 2 has too. It's applied and everything is there now as a separate system. You'll see soon. Now we go, I have used the systems on alphanumeric sorting basis and the logo, and so to avoid confusion. And the systems are related to each other. For example, that We have Famicom, Famicom Disk System, Super Famicom, and the two add-ons of Super Famicom, which is Satellaview and Sufami Turbo. The Satellaview and the Sufami Turbo are not Super Famicom. They're add-ons for that system, so don't get confused. So let's start. We have Acorn Electron. It's a working system. We have Amiga. Instead of now Amiga 1200, I set up as Amiga 4000. It will use basis the XML file used in the Amiberry. The games will boot with the 1200 automatically, that they have AGA, and those that don't have, I have actually enabled the higher processor of the 4000 configuration of Amiga 4000. Now we have the Amiga CD32 with support of QBin and basically Q files with the latest Amiberry support script. Now we have the Amstrad CPC, the Amstrad GX 4000 is working, the Arcadia 2001 a working system, the Bally Arcade a working system, the Atari XE, the Atari ST, and here's the surprise, I have Atari TT030 and Atari Falcon 030 as separate systems. Yes, they're working, but they're quite heavy for Raspberry Pi 3. For those you know and you've been playing around with Atari ST, that you'll probably notice that not all the ROMs are done to boot automatically to the game. Some of them they boot to the desktop and the operating system, and then you have to double click the executable to start the game. That's a normal thing. That's not something due to the emulator. Nothing's wrong about it. It's just the way the ROMs were done. And let's move on. We have the Tommy's Wave. It's a booting and working system. The BBC. We have the Commodore 64, Commodore 128, Commodore Plus 4, CDI. I haven't had this working. I have some problems with this stopping in the pre-boot version of MES. Now we have the Creative Vision. If I remember well, this one is not working because it's based on the same MES, but it's supported on the system. Daphne. One thing I have added, and it's under testing still, I have the Daphne emulator, plus I have the core LR Daphne enabled. This is two separate setups. They need the different configurations similar to what you've seen on SCAM and LR SCAM VM. So we have Dreamcast. We have two cores. I have the Flycast. I have the normal binary, which is I'm not very happy with it. In general, like Dreamcast, as you know, is not running very well. I have the LR Recast custom compiled core, and I have the Flycast provided by the RetroPie. We have Channel F, it's working. Now we have the add-ons that I was talking about, the Super Famicom Satellaview add-on. The reason I have these themes, you might wonder why this, because it looks like a little bit simple, the themes, the system theme, to-play system theme. The reason is because while creating it and using Wikipedia, I learned a lot about the systems and about the add-ons and everything. So if you see on the left side, you'll see that I have a few lines of information about that system and what it is about, and all of this is from Wikipedia. So this is you can find what is exactly, when it was released, stuff like that, which is very helpful to understand what it is in a photo as an actual system or an add-on and what it is doing. Now we have the Sufami Turbo, which is again an accessory released by the Bandai Nintendo Super for the Nintendo Super Famicom system. Now we have a new system that I don't think you've seen in another release. This is the Game Maker Studio, and I have three games. The Maltida Castilla, which is a tribute to Ghosts and Ghouls or Ghosts and Goblins. Now we have the Super Crate box, and they need to be fed. All of them running. Now we have the Super Game Boy. I'm just going through some systems. I haven't enabled all of this with ROMs. This is just the new thing that exists on PlayBox version 2 compared to the version 1. Now we have the new system called Solarus, which is the game engine for all the Zelda style games in action RPGs, and I have 7 games enabled. This is the Zelda Defi or Defy, I don't know, Defi de Zelda Chapitre 2 La Tour des Souvenirs. It's in English, so you can select English or French. Now we have the Legend of Zelda XD2, Mercury's Chess. We have the Legend Book of Mudora. We have the Legend of Zelda Mystery of Solaris DX, which we used to be before as a port. We have the XD, again previously as a port. We have the Return of the Hylian Solaris Edition, again previous as a port, and we have a new game, again Tunics version 03. So if you go to the name, you'll see what version I'm using. I added a game list, descriptions, so let's go ahead. Now you have Spin, the trackballs. This is an actual system, so instead of having your arcade systems all mixed up, if you know which games are spinner enabled, you can put them in this. This is an actual system, and you can run all your games that use spinner from here. The same thing for trackballs. This is the system, separate system, actual running system, and this is not a collection. This is actual system that you can use. So trackballs can be put in here. Now we have the old Love engine, and now we have the core version of it, the Lutro, and we have 2 games, the Mario and Mr. Rescue. And then we have, for the Lutro, we have the Deep Dungeon, Game of Life, Platformer, Sienna, Snake, and Spaceship. Now we go to Macintosh. You can boot the actual Mac OS. Now we have the Naomi. This is a running system. Nintendo DS that supports, it doesn't crash with the touchscreen ROMs. Now we have the SNK Neo Geo CDs. It's running. Now the NES. We have the Super Nintendo MSU. I have MSU as a system separate, and we have hacks. We have Japan Mega Drive. We have Sega Genesis hacks. All of these separate systems. Now we have the Open Board, the custom one that boots the BAK files. Now we have the MS-DOS, simplified, that you can run games from just way simpler boot, no SH anymore, just from conf files. And I have Windows 3.11 enabled and Windows 95. You can boot also too. Now we have PSP. We have the residual VM as before, SCAM VM. We have the Sega Mark III, Sega Saturn. This is not running on Raspberry Pi. It's not powerful enough. I also have Sega Saturn Japan enabled as a theme. Now we have the Sega Titan video game system. This is just for the theme. It doesn't run on Pi. We have the SC3000. It's running on Pi. The Super Cassette Vision. I think this one is one of the problematic ones that they use MES. Now we have Steam. It's fully updated to the current binary. Now we have the new one. This is the GOG Pi Galaxy client that you can actually, there's 4. It's not all the GOG games supported, but if I remember what the SCAM VM, FBA, and a few others, the ones that DOSBox, you can get it, that you have on GOG, and you can install it. So now we have the X1 running, Thompson. This is also running. Now we have the Radio Sinclair S80, we have the Infocom, we have Sinclair ZX81 and the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. So that's it, folks. I don't want to bore you with more information. You're going to see some tests soon. That's the first looks. So thank you for watching, and enjoy hopefully soon PlayBox version 2 release. Bye bye.